Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of Transport Fever 2, where we are building our very own mega city. In the last episode, guys, we've seen some astronomical growth. It was absolutely crazy. We've added nearly 400 residents onto the city just in the last episode alone, all with some simple expansions. We added 8 towns over here, and that... It's a little bit wild, isn't it, guys? It is a little bit wild. But what it's uncovered is a couple of issues that we're going to be seeing arising soon that I knew was going to happen before I say anything, guys. And it kind of shows and utilizes our big mega train loops to their full potential. And that is, we have a lot of pedestrians wanting to get in and out. Now, the last couple of cities on a line are always the busiest because by the time the train arrives to these last few stops before it heads into Town, it's 9 times out of 10 already maxed out, filled to the brim. Now, you could solve that by adding in more trains, but it just then clogs up the line. And the same thing here, because that line comes in and it stops at 3 stations. And as it stops and it unloads, it then starts to load back up as it goes back out. And the last station is the one that has the most amount of people, because by the time the train gets to here, it also has the same fate. It's already pretty much filled up before it exits to go to the 8 cities and the other cities dotted around. But that's where my marvelous idea of these train loops do come in. For example, we have this line here that goes through the middle. I could build a whole secondary run on the outer skirts that come into these 3 stations, and then these 3 here come down to go on the other outer side as well, because at the moment the station doesn't, theoretically reach the wider radius. I could add bus routes in, but to alleviate my train pressures and maximize the loop connections, add more in, which would also create more percentage growth as more public transport can be reached, thus growing more of all of the cities. Guys, welcome to the episode. The train loop is now coming into its full fruition. And if you are enjoying the series, please make sure you smash that like button down below. If you are new around here, then make sure you do subscribe so you are notified when more episodes do come out. Now, what I'm going to do, rather than utilize the 8, because these towns here still need a little bit more time to grow, we'll first start it on these 5 towns, the first line that I built in this series. And we've already had this line here running through the middle. We're going to utilize this one to turn and run down that back end there. And obviously this one here to kind of turn in and run down that side as well. Now, this one doesn't have much of the same fate. It's still pretty busy in some areas, but because it's only 5 towns versus the 8 on the other line, we're able to handle it pretty well. But this is the radius in which the train stations do reach. They don't fully reach the edges, thus limiting how much these towns can ultimately grow. There's also a lot of traffic troubles that we're experiencing because at the same time, people want to go to destinations that the train stations aren't currently reaching. So how are we going to do this then? Well, first and foremost, we're going to pause the game. Bam. Right? We're first going to check Town. I don't know how much this is going to change any of it. I don't know. I really don't know. But we're at free. We're not going to change much of the private transportation, but the public transportation is at 360. Okay, that's all we need to know. We've got to figure out a road line that we're going to utilize on all of these cities. So if we started here, and let's say that I did utilize the very edge of this road right now. So that there, we need to make sure that this runs all the way through the towns. So I'm destroying quite a bit of it, but this will make sense shortly anyway. So delete what I can delete. Delete the smaller sticky out roads. Running all the way down. We'll actually see how far this goes, because if it all runs on the same road, that means I can align all the stations the same and run the train tracks all the same as well. So pushing this through. I'm still able to move it. So this is literally a straight line right now. Oh, which runs perfectly into there. So that, by that logic, comes out into there. Right, there's our line. There's our line for this side of the cities. So train track building, passenger. And do I do the 6? I'm going to stick to the 6. Okay, we'll stick to the 6. And that will allow us, ultimately, to be able to... where do I put this? I might put this one here. To run alternative cargo routes, train routes all around. So that could be interesting. That could be interesting. Now, I'm going to slightly off-stagger them to where they normally are running. And we're going to try and utilize additional connections to the station to maximize its connectivity. Because it will take a huge burden off the existing train line that we have running through. So bring you to about there. And then last one just here. So delete all you. So don't worry about deleting stuff because it will eventually grow all back. So what I do to maximize it all now is add in, that's elevated buildings. So add in these at the very end. Do the same with size. I won't do cargo yet because I don't feel like I'm going to bring cargo in anytime soon at the minute on this side. I've also just realized these aren't high-speed train things as well. That's super annoying at the same time. Super annoying, boys. Super annoying. Configure. Bam, 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 bam. And then here. Wa-bam, 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 wa-bam. So we'll have to upgrade all of those train tracks at some point. And the last one then just here. Bam, bam, bam. Wa-bam, bam, bam, bam. So I've gone a little bit over the top on some of them, but it's all good. So that's the radius it reaches. It doesn't look like it reaches much, but it also enables the cities to grow further past this way if there needs be. It doesn't connect to the station, which is actually quite important. So they won't then switch between the lines. They use a separate line, thus then taking pressures off. So some of the buildings share the same, but it all depends on ultimately where they want to go. So if I now run the train line, and we'll utilize the middle, because for us, the middle is going to be passenger-based. The rest is going to be cargo-based. Run this all the way down. So we don't need to do end stops or end platform or crissy crosses on every line except this one. Because that is going to be the end line for the passenger train. So we do it just here. And apparently the slope is too steep. Right, listen, game. There's no slopes. Okay, there's no slopes. This is the flattest map I've ever played on in all my life. What do you mean? Oh, there we go. There we go. I was about to kick off. Right. Apparently construction could not be possible. Oh! No, it really can't be possible. I've just literally merged from the other side. Right, there we go. There we go. I'm having a right... How is it that I struggle to build a straight line? How do I struggle to build a... I mean, it's understandable. It's me. That's how I struggle to build a straight line. Right, all the way down to there. And this is the one that has to connect to over here. So, theoretically, we could build another station here, but the city hasn't expanded that far. So, at the moment, right now, there's no need. All I got to do is somewhat bring it down to a level that we can utilize. So, bring this all the way out. Now, is that digging into the ground or is that normal? That is normal. And... if I go to about there, if I actually, theoretically, delete this back a bit more, we could maybe utilize a bend to eliminate the speed that the train would lose. So if I deleted you and you, can we maintain a speed? Maybe delete back a bit more. There we go. Yeah, because the train's never going to reach that speed between the two distances. So don't need to do anything fancy. That's all it needs to do. And obviously I'm going to make it snap. Otherwise we have those issues I've had before in the past. Right, run this all the way down. I'll come back and I'll upgrade all that stuff. Even though we don't need to, it's just me, personally. So it will come into the middle. It will share the same stops as the current trains currently share, but there's ways in which I can kind of solve this. I could make it where the train line comes in this way, shares one, it goes to all 3 stops. I can make it where it only goes to this one and then this one, and then that one comes in, only goes to this one and this one, so they only share the middle stop as a way to kind of take a little bit more pressures off the line. So this will be quite a busy station, theoretically, is how we can kind of look at doing it. I don't know whether that is the correct way to go about it. Not too sure. But I'll first do all 3 and see what happens, which means where this one has the crissy crossies just there, right? This one needs the crissy crossies just here for the trains coming in and out. So if I delete, have I done the crissy crossies too far back? No, that will be fine for us, wouldn't it? That will be fine. Signals, bam, just there. Right, that's all good to go. So I can now go back into play mode, right, and allow the towns to kind of fight for their lives to refigure out what in the world just happened with me deleting some stuff. I'm going to quickly upgrade these to high speed. No particular reason apart from my own OCD, because they're not going to be going through these at high speed because they stop at every single station. But it's more just for the visual aspect, and some of the cargo trains will be going through it at high speed when we eventually get them all added in. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Right, last one's here, and then we're all good. Oh, hang on, I've just ungraded one. Downgraded is the correct term, boy. Right, so, new line. Starting here. Now, here, we're able to utilize both platforms. Actually, it's not that one, it's the middle one. It'll be number 3. So we can utilize 3 and 4. Okay, so, I haven't done signals, so maybe it's a good idea to start with signals. It's probably a good idea to start with the signals. So, you're there. You're there. Now I'll do a 1 in the middle, 1 there. So, bam. Well, that's a bit funky as it kind of bends in and then bends back out again, isn't it? Right, boom, 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 boom. Get right in so I can just... Makes it a little bit easier for me to see it. Bam. Oh, no. Bam. There we go. So these should be fairly quick and simple to do. So multitude of signals. So we've got like a multitude of trains. It just kind of alleviates a lot of pressures for us. So this, I'm going to auto-sig it right now. Okay, we're going to auto-signal it. So if I went there, that leads all the way in to there. That should then lead all the way back out. Which it does. Perfect. Perfect. Right, that's done. So back to this line then. So at a station. And it's already on the wrong side. Right? Yes. So that will be number 4. And then this one. There we go. So it's now stuck on this side. So it can't change it because there's no crisscrosses. So that's gone for all of them. Then into here. Right, which you've got even more troubles on the go. Into here. So like I said, I'm making it share the same 3 to begin with until we figure out if that's the correct idea or not to go about doing it. There we go. And then back out. Right now to Foolstown, which is number 3. This will be number 4. And then we're back on it, boys. So that there is number 3. That's number 4. Yes, okay, we're now good. So that will go there, to there, to there. Now, that last stop it does, which is number 8, that can also utilize both sides if it's busy. Right, so that little strip there will become quite busy now with trains, okay? it will become quite busy with trains. But I don't think we need as many trains as we may be thinking we're going to need. So I'm just going to bring this out a little bit further on this very back end. And I'll bring it to there. And then we'll bring it in. And this is where we can build our train yard on this side. So we're using the electric dual stocks. And I'll buy 5 for this line and see how we kind of get on. So the line is we have started naming the lines. I started doing it last episode, guys, so don't fret just yet. Don't fret. We're in fast forward mode. And it won't be super busy, this line. Because I still feel like this might be treated as the quicker route. But for those wanting to crisscross onto this line, now this is where the magic happens. If you wanted to get to any of these cities and to these cities and vice versa, this outer line is the quicker one for you because you only crisscross once onto a different line. Whereas before, going down here, you had to kind of come in, utilize one of the loop trains to get to it. So that's where it will take some people off, not too many, and it should make a little bit of a difference. Now, like I said, that's at 360. Oh, that's gone up 10%, by the way, the private transport. The public transport, I'm not sure if it's going to increase much more, but we shall see. There's a few people now going to it as it becomes the preferred line of transportation, maybe. But that'll be interesting to see how that now goes. Now, I want to apply the same logic, right, to this side. Now, currently this side here doesn't really go anywhere. It doesn't really switch with anybody else. But it's one stop closer to going down this route. Plus, this route is also one stop closer going down to this route as well. So it kind of all works out in a really, really weird way. It really does. It really does. But like I said, this is going to become a little bit more busier, this strip. So eventually making them change to just to this one could overload that station, or it could work out fairly well. It all depends. Now, if we could build the secondary and the third one on this line coming in, then that will spread the load of passengers, which is why that's really important we do it to that. But I want to wait for that town to grow a little bit more before we do. Now, last thing I'm going to do is build said road connection, which I reckon is going to be good for about there, right? Now, theoretically, this I should be able to run all the way down. I was going to say and have no issues, but I've got an issue somewhere. So apparently there was an issue here. So if I run it to there, so there's a little bit of a diversion, but I'm not bringing trains in after this, so... So that builds a road which touches every single station on the opposite side. And then I can create, because you've got to create loads of these little kind of pass-throughs here to make the radius, the walkability, and the potential for cities to grow beyond those stations possible. And to make it intertwined and connected. I know we got one there, but, you know, I'm going to utilize that one. Let's not mess about right now. That's all good. That's got one there. That one's got one there. So that's maxing it out as much as we can. And should hopefully give these towns a little bit... We should actually check what the percentages were on these towns before I did it. But that should kind of change things. Also give us a straight road, which should hopefully alleviate more traffic pressures through these areas. So, really interested to see how this is now going to unravel. Really am. There's already vehicles utilizing this road. It's a straight run, no issues. Just get down to where you need to get down to, boys. That's all you've got to do. Right. Interesting. Interesting. Let's now accomplish that on the opposite side. So, we did it 1, 2, 3, 4 grids back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which this will be the run here. But it looks like the towns are growing a bit more on this one side. And I feel like I want to kind of match the 4 gap space. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a 4 gap in between, right? So it's hard to tell on these. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the area. So I'm going to pause this. And let me place down a station here. Building stations. Like that. And let me just now run the road just to make sure that we are cooking on gas. I'm going to delete all these. Because it's not perfectly aligned. I think that's where we went wrong on the other ones. It looks like it's aligned, but it's not perfectly aligned. Like, that's not perfectly aligned to all of this, which then throws you off. So, continue this. Going all the way down. So, this should technically have the perfect alignment. And I'm just going to let the towns naturally build themselves back. So coming off that, that's okay. Running straight through there. And what we're saying on this, that diverts itself slightly. But this is going to be my biggest issue now with this one. Because this goes through a lot of this town. But if I just run this all the way through... And we're going to have to cause absolute chaos right now. And destroy a lot of these towns' hard work. Just to squeeze in my stations. Right. Delete you. Delete you. And now I think we're going to be all good. So. On that there. On that there. This one, I've got to delete a bit more. They will bounce back before you say anything. They will bounce back. They will bounce back bigger than... Oh, I just realized I didn't do high speed. Oh, I'm an idiot. I forgot to press the high speed button. You can't place it down and replace it, can you? Because it's not possible. No. I'm going to have to go through and upgrade all of these again. Right, we'll do each station as we do it. Right, so this... back to configuring. And add all the stops around it. Okay, not that far. I mean, it doesn't hinder it. It doesn't hinder it, but we'll keep it like that. Configure you next. Same again. And then we'll come back to do the upgrading on the high speed. So I'm not going to put press play mode again until we've done all the train tracks, because the roads will kind of get in our way. Right, 2 more left. Always got to make sure we click select the right. Damn it. Damn it, you fool. The right entry building. So it reaches the road. This should be the final one now. Right, bam, bam. Bam, bam, bam. Yes. Right, okay, so that's now all set up there. Let me just now run the train tracks through, which I still need to upgrade high speed. You know, I haven't forgotten that yet, boys. Right, run you in. Run you in. Run you in. And then this should be to the last one. Yep. And then bring this so far out, because this is where the crisscross gets implemented. No dramas on that time, boys. Finally. Right, run you in. And then head this all the way back and then connect it up to the Foolstown lines. That's all we've then got to do. Nice. Nice. And there we go. So that's got to connect into this. So I've got to delete you. I delete you to there. So this, I'm going to make it just come out just right after that there. And I mean, it's not going to be the best of connections, but it doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter. It's going to be a shorter bend than all of these ones. It just doesn't matter. So coming in, Oh, no, it's on... it's on the wrong one. It's actually on the wrong one. It needs to be on this one. So I'm going to bring that to there. The elevation change is real. Right, there we go. Bring you into there, and then we will swing. Oh! All right, bring it to there. All right, that will do us. That will do us, boys. That now connects. So, right. Again, I'm not going to press play because I've just realized we also need to theoretically run the road going down this side, which the current road situation will hinder us. So, if my calculations have been correct this whole time, which 9 times out of 10, they're never correct. Okay. That should be a straight road as well. So let's see how far I can go before something happens. And by something happens, it's no longer connected to that. Right, there we go. That's happened straight away. Right, if I go to there, does that touch all those bits? Okay, that touches all those ones. That touches those 3. It touches those 3. It touches those 3. So this is a better road already. It's a better road already. So I don't know where it went wrong. I don't know. And then the rest of these roads, let me just quickly sort these out. I mean, that doesn't even want to run straight, that road, does it? Alright, it's important for the city's growth. Alright, that's fine, that's fine. I just need a road either side of the station. Alright, that works. That works. And, okay, this doesn't work, but I'm going to delete that anyway. That's it. Oh, no, okay, that's fine, it's fine. So I'm going to put it back into play mode now. And let the towns just rejig themselves. But now I've got these additional stations running all the way along. We are maximizing as much of it as we can. All I would then do is eventually create a bus or tram system in each town that just gets the dead spaces that the stations technically currently don't reach to. So if that train's going to come in, it shares this line, and where we don't currently have... Oh, because we don't currently have anything sharing this, I could have actually just made that run on the outer line and have its own dedicated train run. Oh, that would have been so much better. That would have been so much better to run it on the outer side. Right, okay, so... just bring it to there, that's fine. Yeah, we're going to run it to there instead. So delete all this. Takes a while now. I don't know why. Because the middle one is currently being used by the loop system. Right? And then I could make this. It's a crazy bend. Right? But just go with it. Just go with it. I can make you use the outer side one, where it doesn't kind of merge with any other line, thus keeping the whole thing completely free. So obviously we need to crisscross here, because this is the end route. The end station, I should say. That's all set up there. That's set up there. I can maybe throw in just one more here. I'll do it on all of them while I'm that that's all good. They're all on the correct side, aren't they? Yeah. Am I doing auto-sig here? I should be. I mean, it helps if I had... Oh, no, I've done it wrong. It helps if I had the signals in the right side of the train tracks. Right, the train tracks there are not connecting. They are now. They are now. Right, let me just delete these signals, boys. I can delete them from all the way over here, so... Alright, deleting all these because they are now in the wrong... I forgot I've got auto-sig on. You kind of forget that when you first get it added. That's all good. So that should go that way. That can go that way. Alright. That's there. There. Right, let's turn auto-sig off now. Because I feel like I'm going to mess something up. I feel like I'm going to mess something up by doing this. Right, bam. Bam, bam. Well, bam. That's it. So, quickly... There's only 4 stations I've now got to do. There's only 4 stations I've now got to do. Alright, 2 more next. They're already using my outer road, the vehicles are, as a faster way to travel because there's less junctions. So that's moved the vehicle traffic to a completely different part of the city. Which that alone is worth just building all of this. Because now the center is completely free as the vehicle traffic is now on the out. They're using it as like an outer ring road in many ways. And we can connect these up to the roads to hopefully create more vehicle connections. So we've actually gained 10%. By building the first train line on the outskirts, we've gained 10% connection coverage for public transport for Foolstown. Which is great, but I'm not worried about that anyway. I'm just kind of trying to alleviate more of the traffic pressures. Look at how busy these stations are now becoming. It's mainly the green line leading it. This town needs the outer skirts train line systems like what we've got here. But this is just my experiment right now. This is just my experiment. So let's create a new line. And we are going to start down here. And it needs to go on to number 3, so we can utilize and share 3 and 4. Into the left, great. Let's keep this going. And then up into here. Why did it not go in? Is there another break in the train? Yes, right there. No, wait, no, that's fine. Right, let me come back. Because it could be. Yeah, it was literally down to the fact that there was no way for them to head back out. So, but there, 10 and 6, yeah. Heading now back out. So it's done them 2. Now we're going all the way back down. So that, there is no mistaking right now which side of the train track they're on. All the way back down. So, of course, I need trains for it. So we'll just extend this out. We'll extend it a little bit further, just in case the city does decide to grow a bit more. Buildings. Bam. And again, we'll buy 5 and to see if that is going to be enough. So set them all on our brand new line, which still does not yet have a name. Don't worry, I will rename them all. There we go. So is there many people waiting here? There is. We actually might need more trains on the other line, but now we spread them a bit further again. We'll see how it all unfolds. But that brand new line is completely void and separate, which kind of makes me feel like we should do the same thing on this side now to the outer one, which is completely void and separate again from sharing the same tracks is where I'm going with this. And it should alleviate a lot of pressures that we've now added to these inner loops. So it might look like by doing this I've caused more issues here, but that's not the case. It's only because that's the only line down here. If these had 2 lines, it will split all that between 3 additional routes. See? Some part of this I am a genius. Only in some parts though, only in some parts. So we'll see what happens. Oh, that's gone up to 320. So by doing that has also caused these cities to have more percentage boosts, which is really good. Real good right now, boys. That's gone up 10%, which those numbers are still increasing. It might go up another 10% still. We will see what happens. So what's Fallstown saying right now? Damn, it's grown even more since the start of this episode. Let's keep it going, boys. Let's keep it going. Just going to try and sort it out. So we've got a lot of trains now here stopping and starting. They're all stopped. They're all starting. They're all waiting to go somewhere, which I may feel like we've actually caused a little bit of an issue. I think we may have caused a bit of an issue with my Chrissy Crossies being so far back. I didn't realise how far back they were. So moving them a little bit closer means we can move the signal further down. So the further down the signal, the more likely I am to then get in. When that train stops, another signal there to move that train. And the same thing needs to happen here. So just little tweaks that we've got to make. So delete that signal and put you in there. And wherever that train stops, which actually there's a signal right there for it. It might stop there and be okay. No, so that is not perfectly where I need it to be. So if I just put that one there instead and then delete this signal, which is very difficult to get to. That moves that other train along, so now we can move them all along. So after a little bit of a kerfuffle, we should now be moving. Now that signal's going to be in the wrong place as well. So pause that and get my... It's really difficult to get the signals. There it is. Now I don't know whether this signal is going to be in the right position. With the length now, we should be fine. We should be fine. That now creates the movement again. Right, panic over, guys. Panic now over. So that will go to there. Which in theory, we should make it go to here. And then place the next one here. Which will allow that train to then funnel out. And then everyone's moving. Everyone's now moving. But I still feel like once I set this outer loop and that other inner loop there up, I don't need as many trains on those lines as what we're currently experiencing. So a little bit of an issue right now, but that's all good. I could also make them only kind of chop and change on this station. So that can also be quite handy for us. So now that I've sorted that out slightly, the backlog in people could have just literally become, and because of, the amount of trains currently waiting. It's not the most efficient way to do this side. It really isn't. And what we could have also done is kind of separated them onto a different line, but I don't want to then cause pressures and problems for my loops. So this will sort itself out. Once we've got some more trains then moving, this will ultimately then sort itself out. It's just waiting for one of these trains to be able to head back. That's where the big problem lies. But let me build this next one over here. So if I'm using the same logic by doing 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles away, this road here is my magic piece. Now, does that road, if I base it off this one, it does connect up. So we're using that line. It almost runs all the way through. To there. You kind of forget right now that there is 8 cities on this one. So we've now got to fine tune all of this to be able to fit in where I want the station. So a lot more destruction now needs to happen. Unfortunately. But once this is done right, this is going to be beautiful. Right, so building... No, sorry, I'm on the wrong one. Buildings, stations, high speed, more importantly. So bam. 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 Right, this is now all in the way. Yeah, I put it on there, which is fine. There's a little sticky out bit there, which is annoying. Bam. A little bit just there and there. So some are closer than others. That's just how the how it's all unfolded. That's just how it's all unfolded. Get rid of those bits. And extend the train lines now. So this is going to be a lot more OTT than what I've previously done. So there's going to be a road connection there. The crisscross needs to happen at this station. And then we continue. So I'm not going to do play mode yet until I've built the train line because this will hinder us. Alright, there we go. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like there might be some bendy wendies happening with the train lines. Or it could just be me. It could be a visual thing that looks like it's bendy wendy. Or it could literally be bendy wendy. Because nothing's perfect in this series. I don't know if you guys have realised this. Nothing's perfect. Right, I think this is the last station now, right? Yes. Which that is running into the outer one is what I've got to remember. The outer one. So I could theoretically just make it bend all the way down and round. Let me just bring this out first. So I'm going to bring it out to there. I can just go straight from platform to platform, or I just initially... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I was meant to press the button to make it go up a notch. There we go. And then make it bend from there. Is that into the outer one? Yes. Right, that line's done. So press play. There's a lot of stuff I've got to do to the stations still. But the hopes are, and the idea is, it will alleviate... Oh, hello. I just got a Steam achievement there, boys, for having 4,000 kilometers of tracking game. This will alleviate the pressures on this line here. And then we won't need as many trains on that line. So, let's just now go through each one of these stations, which is going to be even more annoying, and place down the buildings, because we need to maximize the coverage and watch the stations can reach around the city. And what's even more annoying is there is 8 of this on this line. There's 8 stations. Good idea or foolish idea? I'll let you guys decide. There we go. So, bam, 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 bam. There we go. Configure here. And, oh, 2 more. Nice. So I'm in play mode now, just allow the city to kind of rebuild itself from what I've just deleted before we go ahead and implement the actual train line. Now I've got to do the road, which, learning from the other side, they love the road. They love the road because it allows them to ultimately use it as a new bypassing route, a new highway style system. So if I pick... Right, I've picked that. Oh, hello. I didn't pick that. I just dropped that. And let's see if it now, theoretically, connects to all of them. They do. They do. It feels like it's getting further away on some of it. But then it's come a little bit closer. I reckon there is a slight little wave. Alright, the snap has worked. All I'm now going to do is just create the pass-throughs. I want one on each side of the stations. And because the minimal amount of connections that do lead to it becomes very, very tempting for them to utilize it as their little bypassing driving route. Now, it does mean, I haven't done it on these, but it does mean I can then add additional connections in for the road to increase the private transportation. So all I've got to do now is just double check signals are now all in place. So this is going to require a crisscross. So delete that signal there. So crisscross. And then signal in. Signals, and no signals here, so we add one in just there. Now, if I just do the auto sig going this way, so if I start it there, I should at least have it coming back that way. And then we're all good. Right, now the real fun begins. So I can't see us being able to do any middle signals on these, just because of how short the distance is. So I'm not going to. And they're already utilizing my brand new outer road as the quick bypassing highway style connection that get, because they realize it calculates as less junctions than normal, thus the time of the journey it takes to get to there. So if they wanted to get from there to there, it's quicker to go down, zoom, up, then stop. You see what I mean? The game calculates that. So that's pretty good. All right, there we go. There we go. And then this is my first one on this side right now, which is exciting. Buildings, boom. Spin you right round, mate. Spin you right round. And of course, signals. Oh no, signals don't matter. Not here anyway. Right, we got to create a new line. And we start here. So we allow them, actually it's got to be on platform 3. Allow them to use 3 and 4. And then we go along. So it should be on the left, which it is. This is going to be game changing for these set of 8 cities. So that one, it can utilize both. And then it comes back. So on 4, it's on 6, 4, yes. That's just double checking. Ta-da! That's done. So I'll only buy 5. No, we'll buy 6 because there is more towns on this side. 6 is definitely not enough. Okay. 6 is definitely not enough. Now, every passenger that utilizes that new line, right, is either one, going to be somebody who would have went on the original line, or a new one that that original line does not reach. Okay? We're going to see a lot of pressures being alleviated right now, which is really, really exciting. So this middle bit right now, there's definitely more movement on the go as trains understand the whole situation. We've sorted out the signals wonderfully, but I'm still not 100% happy with the whole setup, because it's just too many trains, chopping and changing, waiting. So hopefully this makes a big improvement. So I'll wait to see how the main line dies down before I start taking trains off it, and vice versa for this line. I think this line might been going on for a little bit longer right now in terms of finances. Profit going up and up and up, and all of a sudden now it's dropped down. What? Why is that? It's the obviously reason is less passengers, because they're now sharing between 2 other lines. So Barrow Furnace right now increased even more dramatically. It's going to go high through the charts right now with this, because the radius, the percentages numbers have increased. This is still on 10%, but I wonder how that's now going to change. I mean, look at the up arrow right now on the charts. Foolstown's growing, boys. So it's just a case of giving it time. That's all we can actually do, is just give it time. Loving the outer road, though. It does alleviate a lot of traffic pressures, and we'll have to do that vice versa with everywhere else. There is a total of 22 trains in this line, so no wonder it feels really, really busy. No wonder, but let's see what this does in time. Right, so lots of passengers still waiting here, but they will eventually be moved. Trains are coming in, trains are waiting, trains are everywhere at this moment in time. And there's our first train here at the minute. Picking people up, moving along. And we're just waiting. It's just a big waiting game at this moment to see how this ultimately takes away from the current line. I'm gonna place that there and this here to get the rest of those trains out a little bit quicker. Then again, having that big space means it spaced them out quite nice. So it's just one of those things, isn't it? It's just one of those things. Right, this is going to be interesting to see how it dies down, because they're starting to bulk up with a few passengers now. So this, for the first time ever, it's pretty full for its first journey. It really is. But time will tell with what it takes away from that line. That train's already full as well. Exciting stuff, guys. And it also means that these loop lines will now bring more passengers down to here as they want to go on the brand new line. You can already see line 65. There's already people there waiting for it, even though a train has not made its way over yet. So they're taking people, they're moving people. And I'll be able to get less trains on this line, which means then this middle bit will be less busier. It will be glorious. Absolutely glorious. 198 on board right now. What line are you on? The green line going out. Makes sense. So Foolstown then. That number's still increasing, so it might bulk it up even more. While we wait then, let's just quickly play around with the roads, because this might create some additional private transportation links. So bringing you up to there, bringing you still out, and then we'll just go for the swooping bend here. Like I said, it might create more private transportation links. And then the same with this one. So bring you out, and then we'll utilize the outer line, which will be this one. Okay, that's not how I wanted it. Like that. Just gives all 3 main drags of run a connection into Foolstown. So it could then cause them to want to utilize it, want to go that way. It's entirely up to them how they want to do it. Take some pressures off this, and it might spark a bit more private transport and an extra 10% boost on this number. Maybe. Look at that. We're on the way to 3,000, boys. We're going to be on the way to 3,000 before you know it. Right, there's the first train there now exiting Foolstown on my brand new line. Numbers are bulking up. We should heavily start seeing less and less people. But for these last few towns here to dwindle down, they got to bulk up all the passengers exiting first. Like that train there. That's got a load of people on as well. It's time. It's just time, guys. It's just giving it time. But I can already see that we're going to be taking a few trains away from these lines. I can already see it happening. I can already see it happening, boys. This is exciting. It's exciting. So how much less passengers are we now moving? How many? We have 13 trains on that line as well. So keep an eye on the numbers. Keep an eye on numbers. It could be a case where we just keep the same amount of trains on this line. It just has more capacity to move more people. That's the additional benefit there. But this is definitely making a big difference. Barrow and Furnace was plateauing until we implemented the additional 2 lines, and now they're going for a growth spurt as well. Absolutely amazing. Look at that. We're now up to 390%. So we've gained 20. I haven't done anything. I haven't built any more cities. I've just added the ability to reach more of the cities. And that's gained 20%. Imagine when I do all the other areas as well. Game changing, boys. It's going to be game changing right now. Right. I think we need to build the 3rd line on here, which we'll do next episode. But this has taken a dramatic turn. This really has. We are optimizing now more of the loops. We really are. You can see that this outer loop over here has got more people as they want to transfer in and out. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. Are we seeing vehicles use my brand new... Yeah, there's a vehicle using my brand new road there. Anyone using this road? I mean, this is one of the longer roads. I will give them that. It is one of the longer roads. So I'm not too sure if we'll see anybody yet using that. But they can if they want to. They can if they want to. Right. Guys. I think we need to switch up this road. This road should actually probably come into that side to mimic it. And that road there bends into this one. That's probably where it should go. Right, guys, we're going to end it here right now. This is astronomical, big changes, big efficiency. I've got to now give it time to simulate through and just see where it all distributes evenly and understand where the changes then need to be made. But we've got a game plan. We're going to stick to it as much as we can. Glorious. Foolstown has grown quite dramatically. We're about to cross over 3,000 very, very soon. We've gained so much more percentage right now, which is unreal how much more. We've gained an extra 20% for doing nothing but adding more connections. Until next time, guys, I'll see you all soon. So, goodbye.